We're following breaking news right now. Columbia police are investigating a crash in East Columbia involving a pedestrian. Good evening, I'm Amber Seid.
And I'm Jim Wright. Thanks for joining us. It happened around 8:30 tonight. At least one person is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. KOMU8's Cameron LaFontaine is live on location with the latest. Cameron, what do you have
I'm
for
here
us?
at the scene of Keene and Berrywood, where officers just closed up the scene after having the road blocked off for more than an hour. The officer on scene that I did speak to said that the investigation's ongoing, but a male subject was struck by a vehicle and then taken to University Hospital with life-threatening injuries. The driver of the vehicle is fine, and drugs and alcohol is not believed to be a factor at this time. Reporting live in Columbia, Cameron LaFontaine, KOMU8 News.
President Trump blasted from not one, but two senators today.
And the surprising part, they're both Republicans. Arizona's Jeff Flake announced he won't be running for Senate again and took time to express his feelings about the president.
We must stop pretending that the degradation of our politics and the conduct of some in our executive branch are normal. They are not normal.
Flake continued his criticism, saying the president had a, quote, reckless disregard for truth and decency. Republican Tennessee Senator Bob Corker also put in his 2 cents. He says the president should stay out of tax reform using choice words.
I think that the worst of it is going to be just the whole debasing, if you will, of our nation. I think that'll be the contribution that hurts our nation most.
At this time, GOP leaders such as House Speaker Paul Ryan hope to get the party and the president on the same page.
The White House held a press conference today in response to the senator's comments. Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said the senator claims were, quote, petty comments. She mentioned Trump has strong support in Tennessee and Arizona. Sanders also implied neither senator would have likely won re-election.
Back in mid-Missouri, Jefferson City residents got together tonight to talk about race-related issues. The discussion comes about a month after a racially insensitive photo was posted online. The school superintendent gave his plan on what the district will do, including hiring more diverse faculty and reviewing disciplinary action for students of color. A community member told KOMU8 News the meeting was a step in the right direction.
I think it's great that, the superintendent did come forward with a plan. He came with a plan because that's what I like. I like a plan. I don't want to just, hear you talk and say you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and, and not have any action behind it.
The school district will host 2 more town hall meetings next month.
Tonight, the Jefferson City Council and the Parks and Recreation Commission held a rare joint meeting. The two groups want to find ways to start working together. KOMU8's Chris Joseph is here in the studio with their ideas.
Jefferson City's Parks and Recreation Commission is almost completely independent of the City Council. The commission has full control of the Parks and Rec Department and is supported by its own sales tax. As a result, the two groups rarely talk, but tonight they came together for their constituents.
Pretty much every morning they come. It's kind of peaceful to see the lake and all.
Jim Dotz has been coming to McKay Park in Jefferson City for almost 14 years.
I'd like to see them somehow control the geese. I mean, maybe they could put up like a fence.
The two groups who could make that happen met Tuesday afternoon for the first time in a while.
Oftentimes, we act parallel to one another, but we don't actually know what the other's doing.
The City Council appoints Parks and Rec Commission members, but after that are hands off. The two groups took the afternoon to brainstorm ways to improve local parks together.
My thought was, when we have neighborhood associations and people looking for that walkable small park, let's make sure we highlight those.
I like this is it's closer. I'm only 2 miles away from it.
The two groups said they may tour the park soon, and if they come to McKay, they may find Jim and his feathered companions. The city won't have any goals for the parks finalized until the Parks Department comes out with its master plan later this year. In the studio, Chris Joseph, KOMU8 News.
The 8th U.S. District Court of Appeals opened the door for more restrictions on abortions in Missouri. The court did not block Senate Bill 5, which forces the restrictions. The bill, known as the Same Physician Mandate, requires doctors performing abortions to counsel patients on health risks at least 72 hours before their appointment. This can be costly for women who travel hundreds of miles twice to see the same doctor. Abortion opponents held press conferences outside each clinic.
As pro-woman leaders, citizens, and lawmakers, we have called this historic press event today to formally affirm the bold and pioneering efforts by Senate Bill 5.
The Director of Communications and Marketing for Planned Parenthood Great Plains says the mandate makes getting abortions very difficult for Missouri women.
For many women, this is going to price them out of being able to access an abortion. Many women who have children can't afford child care, they can't afford to take time off work.
Planned Parenthood says it's working around the clock to find new ways to provide safe abortions.
The city of Columbia declared the fraternity porch that collapsed over the weekend a nuisance. The porch in Pi Kappa Alpha's backyard collapsed with students on it Saturday. The city inspected the property and determined the deck was in poor condition and should not be occupied. The city gave the property owner a letter saying the deck must be repaired, replaced, or destroyed. Building Supervisor John Simon said there is no evidence in our records of framing inspections being performed on the structure prior to the collapse of the portion that failed. The chapter said it plans to remove the deck from the property in a statement today. For the first time in a while, it was cold walking outside today. Let's go to Kenton to see if the fall weather has finally arrived.
Amber, thank you very much. Yeah, remember yesterday, high temperatures in the upper 60s, around 70. Today, highs only reached into the middle 50s as expected, but definitely feels much cooler even when you just look at the numbers. So then we're at 30 in the lower to middle 30s here tomorrow morning. We're actually feeling like lower 30s at least, and that's because of our wind chill. Wind's still a big factor here. There's still around 10 miles, 15 miles an hour here across the area. Some gusts up to 20 miles an hour overnight tonight. Then more gusts up to 30 miles an hour tomorrow. We're at 65 degrees on our Wednesday, mostly sunny, 73 on Thursday. That's going to be balmy considering where we're going the days after, because this weekend we're down to the coldest temperatures we've had since last winter. I'll detail that in my 8-day forecast coming up right after the break.
Coming up, the long-running debate on hog farms in Callaway County might come to a vote next year.